right. Hello, everyone. We are here to play some Vampire the Masquerade, but I'm not going to get too much into the scenario yet because, first of all, we are mostly here because this is a Vote and Vogue one shot, trying to get people signed up to vote because it is super important. We're not going to tell you who to vote for, but we are going to tell you it's definitely important. Like everybody's vote matters. There will be links throughout the stream to get signed up, and definitely make sure just do it anyway. If you're already pretty sure, I actually just re-registered because I wasn't sure because they've been kicking people off of a lot of registries. So yeah, just get signed up. Make sure to go out and vote. Incredibly important. And with that, I'm going to let my lovely players introduce themselves and who they're playing. Jack, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Jack Knoxville. I use he and they pronouns. I am actually the founder and executive director of Trans Empowerment Project, and I will be playing the role of Sophia Petrillo tonight. So just picture it today, right now, it's happening.
Fantastic. Who do you want to follow you? I should have told you. We'll popcorn it.
Well, let's go to Dorothy. I mean, we need to hear from my daughter.
Yeah, this is her pussycat speaking. Uh, I'm Amber, ampersand speaking. I'm playing Dorothy Spornak, um, and I'm looking forward to it. Uh, Popcorn to Rose.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Yuri, pronouns she, they. You can find me at Yuri and the Beast everywhere on the internet. I am the marketing director for Tabletop Tailspinners, where we focus on diversity without tokenism. And today, I am going to be playing the naive but oh so sweet Rose Nyland. And with that, I'll popcorn it over to Blanche.
Hi, everybody. My name is Luke Miller, and you can find me everywhere at Grey Castle Press on the internet. I use he, him pronouns, and today I will be playing the role of Blanche Devereaux.
Fantastic. And in case you all could not guess from the title and from the names of our characters, this is a Golden Girls, make it Golden Ghouls, because our Golden Girls have all been turned in some way. We didn't actually explore that too much, how they all became vampires. But that's half the fun sometimes. It's just that mystery of why these four friends, family, whatever, are all now kindred, undead spirits in Miami. So, what would all of you be doing now that you have become vampires? What would our Golden Girls be up to?
I'm trying to hunt down all those idiots from Shady Pines that put me through hell. I've got something for them. Don't worry about that.
I love that so much.
Right.
I think definitely still it's more important than ever now, especially kind of for us living together. Rose is volunteering at that hospital and getting maybe a little bit more involved than she used to be, which honestly doesn't strike anybody as weird or anything. It's a very normal thing. So for her, I think not a lot of things would have changed. Um, she still bakes and donates things to drives and charities and goes out to the schools. Definitely a little more involved in that hospital.
Okay. Makes sense.
I think it's pretty par for the course for Blanche. Blanche is enjoying the company of many, 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 many men. As many men as she can sweet talk into a date or two.
Yeah, and
It's
now
okay.
with
You can just own being a slut. It's fine.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
It's 2024. Yeah, and now with your kindred powers to boot, it's just that much easier for you.
Yes, who knows? The sky's the limit for Blanche Devereaux in the city of Miami.
And Dorothy?
Yeah, Dorothy's still teaching, of course, but maybe she's transitioned to night school.
I would hope so. Might be a little tricky otherwise. Fantastic. So, because I am not quite as well versed as, especially Luke, since, again, for the stream, since we talked about this before stream, Luke is the reason that we're all here playing this particular game. I knew that I was going to be playing something because, Jack talked to me about the Vogue stuff and was like, yeah, bet, sign me up. We'll get something going. But Luke is the one who gave me the idea for this. So,
Me and my incessant use of Golden Girls gifts everywhere on the internet.
All over the TTRPG collective. It's your fault.
I'm okay with that.
So I know that eventually most of the girls moved out of the house. Where did they go after that?
In the story of the show, or in the story of our vampire life?
In the story of the show, but also I think in this case probably would be good.
Well, after the culminating events of the series of the Golden Girls, 3 of the girls, minus Dorothy, sold Blanche's, well, the house that they all owned collectively at that point, and invested in a Miami Beach hotel called the Golden Palace. And a single season of hijinks ensued.
So for this story, would you still be running the Golden Palace?
I feel like in my head, when I think of the girls, certainly the girls maybe post embrace, I feel like they may have come back together. Who knows what happened to the different men in their lives, or whoever else might have been in their lives at the time. In my brain, I feel like they somehow all managed to get back into the same familiar lanai bearing house in Miami.
I'm okay with that. And so I think that's a fantastic place for us to pick up in the familiar, ever changing, because that is something that I'm aware is very inconsistent in the show. Is the house is never the same, and the physics of it don't make sense because people come in from places they shouldn't be able to, and nothing matches. It's like the TARDIS. Nothing matches from the exterior. It's bigger on the inside. But as our 4 golden girls go about their nighttime activities, there is a knock on the door. Who would answer?
The rest of these girls are a bunch of fraidy cats. So, I'll get this one.
Perfect. Sophia, as you go to answer the door, you see a very familiar, if not friendly, face. A balding man in a cheap, bad suit.
My idiot son-in-law, Stan.
Hello, Sophia. How are you?
What do you want, Stanley?
Well, I'm here to tell you I'm running for office, and I was hoping to get your vote.
Running for office? I should be running away from you.
I see you still got that good sense of humor.
I was born with this.
Is Dorothy around?
Yeah, she's in the back having some cheesecake with the girls, yeah.
Ma, who's at the door?
Who do you think it is? It's Stanley.
Well, put him out, would you? I don't want to attract flies.
I don't think this is a good time, Stanley. You might want to come back tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I won't take much of your time if I could just talk to you.
Oh, but I just made cheesecake. Do you want some cheesecake? It's a new recipe.
It
Just
does
let
sound
him in to
nice.
try some. I need more mouths, and you can tell me. You can kick
So,
him out right after.
yeah, Sophia, would you let him in?
For Rose's cheesecake, of course, sure.
So, for all of my players, Kindred typically cannot eat food. Just FYI. So this would definitely be a good test to figure out if someone were kindred. And so Stanley comes in, and Rose, you offer some cheesecake, eats it with no problem. Typically, if a vampire were to eat food, they would forcefully regurgitate it pretty quickly.
Yeah. I took the still eats human food for Rose because she loves baking, and I think it would have broken her heart to not be able to do that anymore.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Does he like it?
Um, that's a good question. Um, I think I would like you to make our first roll of the game, but I need to figure out what I want it to be because normally baking's not a big part of VTM in my experience. Um,
What?
I know.
Um, what about since she obviously made it from scratch, we could either use crafting or hmm. Yeah, it's hard to find something that quite fits, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe wits or intelligence and craft would make sense.
Sure. Go ahead and add that in. That is 7 successes.
Oh my god.
Very lucky first roll.
It's all downhill from here. Uh,
Oh no.
he's like, "Oh wow, this is what's in this. This is amazing."
Yes, well, like I said, it's a new recipe that I've been trying, and well, I obviously can't tell you, because then you'll steal it. But it's so good, isn't it?
Me? I would never.
Nah, I don't know. Can't really trust you.
Blanche, where would you be?
That is probably the moment that Blanche would make her entrance into the kitchen and stop for applause for a moment while the audience finishes applauding, their hand on the door. Oh, Stanley, it's just you. She comes in and says, Rose, I simply can't have any of this cheesecake. I have a gentleman caller later. But Stanley, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm running for office, and I was hoping to get the four of yours vote.
Oh, God, giving Stan Zbornak power in Miami. I can't imagine who would vote for you, Stan.
Oh, thanks for the vote of confidence.
But what made you decide to do this now?
Well, you see, the governorship is a seat of power, as Blanche put it, and I figured somebody might as well run against the mayor or the governor. Words.
Oh, yes, but why you?
Why not? Nobody else was doing it.
Okay, he
Dan,
got
you
me
couldn't
there.
run a car wash.
That's ancient history.
Stanley, nobody's lighting themselves on fire in the middle of the street either, but you don't see people standing in line to do that.
I feel like he's a little bit flabbergasted and doesn't have a good response to that.
Hmm. Well, if we really need someone to run, why not one of us? Dorothy could run.
Oh, she's just so busy.
Nah, well, I was just
Ma,
saying.
Dorothy, you haven't
Rose,
run for anything since the 5th grade.
and even then it was just the president's honors.
I mean, you can still beat this schmuck though.
I was just saying, almost anything would be better than Stan.
For once, I have to agree with the nitwit over here.
She seems very pleased by that. She's just like,
I love Rose. Just so oblivious.
I think you've convinced me. I'm gonna run against Stanley. Stan, may the best woman win.
I was afraid this might happen.
oh, that means I need to bake a lot. All right. I'm going to need some help. No?
And a lot
Okay.
more
I didn't think
D10s.
so anyways.
Oh, I don't know, Rose. I don't know that any of us are going to be good at cooking any Flugen or whatever crazy dish you're cooking up today.
That's true. I probably wouldn't be as good either. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Stan, why don't you get out of here? We gotta get to planning.
Yeah, you do that, Dorothy. Don't worry. I'll see you on the campaign trail.
Yeah, you do that.
And he makes his way out very unceremoniously.
Oh, this is
Dorothy
so
slams the door
exciting.
behind him.
Look at you, Dorothy, running for office. If anyone can do it, I think it's you.
Maybe not her by
Dorothy
herself,
seems
but
kind of put
we.
upon about the whole thing.
I almost imagine it's one of those moments where Dorothy got her dander up a little bit about Stan and is now kind of like, wait, what did I just agree to?
I think all of you would probably eventually have the realization that Dorothy will have to go outside, potentially during the day at some point, as the governor of a very sunny state.
Yeah, we were clearly not thinking about any of that. We just didn't want Stan to run.
And not just Dorothy, but all four of us are going to be involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Blanche
We're gonna
Devereaux
have to
does her
kiss
best
babies
campaigning at
and, like,
night.
Blanche,
Yeah.
you're going to have to campaign to both the sexes. You understand?
Well, I'll do my best, I suppose. I have quite a number of contacts in this city. I might be able to rustle up a vote or two.
Yeah, you do that.
I'd offer to talk
Ma.
to I'd offer to talk to my friends, but most of my friends, they died a long time ago.
All of our friends died a long time ago, Ma. You want to be my campaign manager or not?
Of course. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this the right way. I'm gonna make sure you win.
And without bribing anyone.
I mean, I can't promise that, but
But what are we going to do about the outside?
We'll burn that bridge when we come to it, Rose.
Well, I don't
I'm
think burning bridges is going to get you very many votes. That doesn't seem like a nice thing to do.
And it's a good thing there aren't any rivers in Miami either.
That's true.
I'm sure somewhere in Blanche's Rolodex over there, there's got to be some man who knows how to do something with this cloud thing I've been hearing about.
Now you're thinking. Cloud seeding, that's the ticket.
Cloud. I don't know that I know anybody versed in clouds. I do know a Claude, but I haven't talked to him for 5 years. I'm sure I could call Claude. Maybe he could help.
Rose, take this steak, put it in my heart.
You know, now that I think about it, this one time, St. Olaf's, there was a huge cloud that came, but it rained too. And then the sun didn't come out for about 5 days, 5 whole days without sun, which now that I think about it, would be a very good thing for us. But back then, it was a horrible thing having no sun for 5 days. Hmm. She's
And
just
Rose,
thinking.
how many chickens or goats or pigs did you have to slaughter to get this desired reaction?
What?
Never mind. This is
Also,
usually where a scene
at this
transition would
point,
wrap this up.
yeah, at this point, you guys would probably hear, like in the very like that small pause of awkward silence, a meow from one of the bedrooms.
Oh,
She coughs to cover it up after she hears it.
oh God, Rose, you haven't brought another animal into this house, have you?
No, I would never.
Except for the
Cat,
three or
she's
four
brought a
times you
cat in
have.
here again.
Just oh no, I believe I am coming down with something. I will go to my room now. She
It's
starts
allergies. She's
shuffling over
coming down
there.
with allergies now.
She shuffles
Jack, you
over
look like you
to
were gonna
to
say
a room.
something.
I was gonna say I thought that was dinner.
At that, like she practically runs into the room. She's like, "No."
What what is Rose's predator type? Out of curiosity.
It is consensualist. She helps with the blood drives. So
That makes
only
sense.
blood from people that are given it willingly,
Yeah,
which
makes
is why
sense.
she volunteers so much at the hospital.
Yeah, I figured like maybe a bagger because you can drink the
Hmm.
blood bags, or like a farmer. But yeah, that also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I looked at the bagger too, but the merits and flaws, like it just didn't
Yeah,
make too
doesn't
much
fit as
sense.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume also like when the girls are low, like she would sneak some and to like bring them with her as well to the house.
Yeah, I don't think Blanche ever goes hungry.
No, she's probably the fullest out of all of us.
She is also a consensualist though, so she's only bringing willing subjects back to the her boudoir.
Well,
Love it.
for the people who are new to VTM, in order to fully slake your hunger as a kindred, you do have to kill. So the only way that you remove all of your hunger is by ending someone's life. Uh, is Blanche just burying a lot of people like in the garden, or are you just always a little bit hungry?
I think oftentimes Blanche is always going a little bit hungry because I think her background as somebody who relies on seductive wiles with the added bonus of her kindred abilities tends to make her very popular down at the Rusty Anchor, even more popular than she once was.
Mm-hmm.
But it would just be really suspicious if all of the menfolk that Blanche kept taking home would just never came back to the Rusty Anchor.
Not
So I think it's
all,
every
just
she
some
yeah,
of
she
it.
has to she has there tend to maybe not be spring chickens all the time. Maybe there's a fleet week here and there that Blanche goes and trolls around, and who knows what happens to people when they're on shore leave.
It's true. A lot of sailors going AWOL.
But I do think that she does tend to operate like a little bit under full typically
Yeah.
because she's not burying people out in the under the lanai very often.
So, Rose, you go to your room. Do you have a cat there?
Maybe. But yes, there would be a cat there. Um, I don't know, probably like a little calico cat.
I love it.
And she's just soothing it and petting it. She assumes it got like anxious from being in the room by itself, so she's trying to get it to like be quiet again, so that the rest of them don't hear it meowing.
Because it definitely won't do that periodically or like scratch whenever you're not there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
What about the rest of you? What would you be doing at this point?
Well, we just found out that Stan is running for governor of Florida, which is
Mhm.
terrifying in and of its own right. We also
You're
have
awful.
decided
Is
that
it,
Dorothy
though?
is also
Is it?
going to run. Well, actually, now that you say that,
It might be an improvement.
big step up.
I don't know about big step. Improvement,
Hmm.
maybe.
Fair, 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 fair.
It's
Well,
like
he's
a
gonna
like a
call
very
Stan.
an a
Sorry.
ramp, you know, it's not very
Yeah.
steep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Not quite a step, but
More of a trip.
Yeah, kind of stumbled into it.
Mhm.
So we were discussing everyone's feeding types.
Mhm.
Dorothy is a cleaver.
Right. So, for those of you who are at home and may not know, cleavers are people who essentially are like taking bits of blood from living family members. So, who are you feeding off of who you know who is still alive?
Well, um, Dorothy keeps her family close, children, grandchildren, um, ex-husbands. So she's gonna give Stan a quick phone call,
Okay.
see how serious he is about this governor thing.
Yeah. So you call and doesn't answer right away, but when he does, he says, "Did you miss me that much already?"
Yes, I long for your loins already, Stan. No, I'm serious. We have to talk. Can we meet in the usual place?
Yeah, the motel.
Yeah, by the beach.
Okay. When?
Tonight.
All right, I'll head that way.
I'll see you at 11.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Luke is our audience, our at home or not at home, the live studio audience. But that also means you have to
All
do the
right.
laugh track and the applause.
you have to do everything now. You did this to
I'm just
yourself.
sitting here and enjoying myself, so I'm fine with that.
Hmm.
Did anybody hear you make that call, or did you try to make it in private?
I think she definitely tried to she went out to the to the lanai porch,
Mhm.
but it's totally possible that she was overheard, especially by like Sophia.
Yeah.
I hear everything. Just so you know,
Dorothy,
I hear everything that happens in this house. Don't worry.
Dorothy, I would say give me dexterity and stealth roll, please.
Great.
And Sophia, because I'm sure you're going to want to try and listen. Um, Probably the same roll, honestly, just to see if you can go unnoticed by Dorothy. Especially considering Sophia's not the most spry. I do love the idea that all of you became kindred when you were already old.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in fairness, I'm younger than her.
True.
I've got 2 successes
Okay.
and I've got 2 onks.
with
if that means
the
anything.
extra dots, because it should just
Mm,
show you your successes, and then the onks are the successes.
okay, it just says successes 2, details 2 onks.
Okay,
And
yep.
that's just
So
2 regular successes, right? Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes, being undead is the new 50.
I mean, kinda.
Absolutely.
So Jack, what did you get?
I'm trying to figure out what like. I just clicked the one roll button, right?
No, so when you look, like if you hover over the 3 dots on Sophia's dexterity and click on that, and then on the stealth, do the same thing. It'll add that all to your dice pool, and then you hit roll.
Let's see.
Which it already sounds like you're doing better than me, so you're probably gonna beat me.
Yeah, Sophia's pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay, so
dice pool of 6 versus 2
2.
and you said dexterity and which one?
and stealth.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm really punching above my weight here.
I mean, pretty sure anytime you go up against Sophia, that's the case. Like playing cards against your mom, mistake every time.
She loses every time, exactly.
I have 5 successes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't fucking say.
Uh, so, Sophia, do you let Dorothy know that you overheard this, or are you staying unnoticed and just doing what you want with that information?
I prefer to be a little stealthy and keep an eye on things from afar. I've got some phone calls of my own to make.
Given the evil eye.
I'm not letting my pussycat go out there by herself.
So, Dorothy, you are pretty confident that you were stealthy enough. You were very careful, not knowing that anyone else has heard. Blanche, you said you had a gentleman caller. Would you be headed out?
That's a really good question. I think that Blanche definitely was had plans to go out on a date. I think she would probably be on her way out to meet said gentleman caller, probably named Biff or Claude again. It's another Claude, different Claude.
I
A
don't
lot
know. I
of
like
Claudes in Miami. It's a very common name in Miami.
I'm a big fan of Biff, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
going to go
So is Blanche.
with. Third time this week. Yeah. So, Dorothy, you have made this phone call. You've got your plans. Would you be headed out fairly soon?
Yeah, basically as soon as necessary.
Okay,
Probably right away
uh,
get over to the beach house ahead of him.
sure. So, Rose, what about you? Now that you've checked in on your little kitty friend, does your kitty friend have a name, by the way?
Yes, totally. They absolutely do. Their name is oh god, I'm trying to think of like some pastry or something right now.
Souffle.
Yeah, actually that's beautiful. Their name is Souffle. Little Souffle.
Love it. Uh, so now that you've, oh, Strudel's also a good one. Now that you've checked in on little Souffle, what would Rose be doing?
Um I think that they would like knowing everybody's kind of like doing their own thing. They would probably head out um on their way to the hospital again just to because she kind of stocks their fridge with like extra bags that she can get away with taking.
Sure.
Um and she'd probably take advantage that they're going to be out to do the same thing. And then she also now has a family of strays that she feeds on her way to and from. Uh, so uh, she would take Souffle with her as well, and then they would feed they would feed the strays, and Souffle would take care to, because when there's really young cats, they'd be afraid of her. So Souffle would go out and kind of coax them out, and then she feeds all of them, because she can communicate with Souffle.
I was gonna say, did you go with Gangrel?
Oh yeah, I went full in on the animal kid.
I love it. It is such a good fit for Rose.
Yeah. So Souffle is my bond familis. So basically a familiar. If you
Yeah.
For those of you, yeah. And she also has feral whispers, so now animals can sort of understand her intentions and things like that. But still, with
Okay.
the little ones, you can never be too sure, and so she takes Souffle with her to make that easier. And she kind of goes around, and now all of the strays in the neighborhood know her, and the rest of the girls would notice just a when they head out, because I'm assuming they'd all head out before Rose did. Um, on their way out, there's just like a mob of tiny, like stray animals just kind of sitting in the sidewalk across the street, all kind of just looking expectantly at the house.
Rose is like a little Pied Piper.
Oh yeah. So many strays.
Blanche, what would your response be to the fact that there's all of these stray animals suddenly in the neighborhood? Because I think that you would probably be the first to leave.
Yeah, I think that Blanche would be all dressed up, ready to go, and walk outside and stop and see all of these animals in the street, and probably make some horribly tone deaf comment about needing to call the exterminator. Um, this neighborhood really is going to hell in a handbasket. Shoo, shoo, shoo! Get out of here, shoo!
Fantastic. And then Dorothy, you head out. Uh, Sophia, I'm assuming not far behind.
That is correct.
And then Rose, is there anything in particular other than just like going to kind of do your normal stuff at the hospital that you're wanting to do? Like, are you wanting to talk to
Yeah, so
anyone, get any
she
information?
is going to, because the hospital's got lots of people who are out during the day too.
Mhm.
And so she realizes, I think, like, oh, like I might have put Dorothy in a pickle. And so now she's gonna try her best to try and help and fix it and make it better. So when she heads out to the hospital, she'll, sneak in some apology blood bags, and um which she uses to make like food, like blood sausages and stuff that the girls can actually eat, and that's her form of like apologizing now. Um and she will take advantage that she's there, and she will ask around um about like the a couple of, very softly worded politics questions here and there, just trying to gauge, like, has he made it public that he's running? Is anybody else running? And kind of like what that looks like. And so she's gonna try and, get some gossip here and there while she's there talking to people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a charisma and probably persuasion, I would assume.
All right, charisma and persuasion. That is 3 successes.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah, they, like everyone you talk to, uh, pretty well says that, oh, I heard Stan was running. Yeah. Uh, Running against DeSantis. That's the only two people that we know of.
What do they? How do they feel about Stan running?
I mean, it's better than the alternative, maybe.
Like lesser of two evils type of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but just barely.
Okay,
Not
okay.
not
Yeah,
a
in
lot
her
of
head,
positive.
yeah, in her head, she's like, "Oh yeah, Dorothy's got a good shot." Totally forgetting about it being a pickle and everything. No, she's
Right.
just excited about the prospect.
You know, thinking about it, Rose very well may have ADHD. Very
Honestly, that is a very fair hypothesis.
relatable. uh, and Blanche, you had mentioned wanting to possibly do some, not really campaigning, but at least, for lack of a better term, pressing the flesh.
Oh yes, Blanche is an expert at pressing the flesh. I think that Biff is I think at this point Blanche has made more connections with different levels of society, and I
Sure.
think Biff is he's a corporate oil lobbyist. He's maybe
Oh.
he's maybe somebody who works with this big industry and lobbies the government directly, and especially now that with Stan running for office and Dorothy now running for office, and kind of just not really understanding why Stanley would want to run for office. I think she finds herself. They've gone to the newest, hottest restaurant in downtown Miami, and of course she orders like a salad. She's wanting to impress her gentleman caller with how youthful and how thin she is. But of course, as they're eating, they're talking. She's got a necklace that she's playing with hanging on her chest to really distract from the fact that she's not eating anything.
Right.
To making sure this man doesn't realize that she's sitting here ordering almost nothing and eating even less. But she finally at maybe halfway through the entree course, she leans over the table and says, Biff, I've heard rumblings that a certain Stanley Zabornak is running for governor of our great state of Florida. I just what do you know? What do you know about this character, this interesting character, Stanley?
Well, he's got a bit of a reputation around town. Kind of a schemer, get rich quick type. I don't
That's
really have much
Stanley.
faith. Don't really have much faith in him winning, but kind of the same thing that Rose had gotten. Like it's the lesser of two evils, so like
Hmm.
maybe worth voting for.
Hmm. Well, I may have an update for you there pretty soon, Biff. But there may be a greater of evils coming your way.
The more evil person.
Yeah, and phrased in a way that is very Blanche, in that she doesn't really realize maybe at first that she's saying an
Yeah,
evil is going to take over the state.
yeah,
However,
very backhanded
the
compliment.
audience knows and they go, "Ooh."
uh, yeah, Blanche, give me a charisma, and I'm gonna say performance because you are trying to perform and like make it look like you are eating, trying to be this
Hmm.
distraction.
Let's see, charisma and performance. That is a full pool of 7. uh,
Decent.
she has 4 successes.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I think you even managed to make some of the salad disappear. Not
Hmm.
eating it, but just finding ways whenever maybe Biff turns to cough and you just like shovel some of it onto the ground.
Oh yeah, though fully like 3/4 through the meal, right after you see Biff cough, and the audience sees Blanche just like shove some salad off of her plate, very discreetly. You just see a waiter carrying a full tray walk by and slip,
Oh
but
no.
she grabs Biff's attention before he realizes what the waiter just slipped on.
Absolutely. Unrelated slippage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to cut over to Dorothy and Sophia. So, Dorothy, you have made your way to this motel. on the beach. This
Yeah,
very
it's the
sketchy.
1-star Ramona Motel. I looked it up. It's actually rated 1 star.
Amazing. This is not sponsored. Also, please don't sue us. 1-star motel.
There's definitely, as you walk into the lobby of
TripAdvisor.
this little motel, there's a picture of Blanche on the wall that says like do not admit.
Yeah,
Do not serve this woman.
Yeah.
I love that.
100%. So Dorothy, Stan is waiting in the usual room.
Oops.
So he beat me there.
Hmm.
Okay, Dorothy doesn't knock on the door. She enters from the through the sliding glass door. So she comes in from the side entrance where people haven't really seen her enter through the motel. She says, "Stanley, what are you thinking?
I'm
Now
thinking
out
this is
with it. Tell me what this governor business is all about."
well, I'm thinking this is a good way to do some good in the world. Maybe make some money while I'm at it.
Dan, you could barely run a business. What makes you think you can run a state?
Well, I wouldn't be alone. Got my managers.
That's now you're telling me that now you're letting me in on the secrets here, huh?
And
Who
Dorothy,
put you up to this?
you do notice, when he had come to visit before, he was wearing the usual toupee, but something looks a little off. As you're here now, he looks a little bit more youthful than you had even seen maybe an hour ago.
Mm. Mm.
Like, this isn't a bad toupee anymore. Like, his hair has regrown.
Yeah. Does he look kindred?
No.
Hmm.
So, I mean, for the kindred, like, you can't always tell, other than the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you do look a little pallid, a little corpse-like, unless you put that effort
Mm-hmm.
in with the blush of life. Uh, he looks like he is healthy, living, breathing, uh, has that natural blush to him.
What if I were to use sense the beast?
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Cost is free.
Mm-hmm.
I roll resolve and animalism versus composure and subterfuge, and allows me to sense the level of hostility in a target, whether they're prepared to do harm or harbor a supernatural beast, marking them as a vampire or werewolf.
Yeah. And it just says vampire or werewolf?
Yep.
Okay. I will tell you now, you don't sense vampirism
Okay.
or that he is a werewolf.
Okay. So there's something going on with him. He's got
Mm-hmm.
maybe he's got some kind of a supernatural backer of some kind.
You can assume as much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to turn on the charm.
With that, Sophia,
um,
you have followed Dorothy here. Now that we have established that there is a sliding glass door, it is very easy for you to see in. And so, yeah, you can definitely see the interaction. Maybe not hear everything, but see that Dorothy kind of bulks a little bit, seeing Stan and seeing what you can see now, that he looks a little bit different than he did not that long ago. Like I said, more youthful, especially.
Yeah, I know this schmuck's up to something. I just don't know exactly what it is quite yet. I mean, I do have streetwise, and you know, I know people, so
It's true.
We can find out some things.
I was going to say, you also have an ability that will let you, even when you're unseen, use some of your supernatural powers.
Yeah, causes a little bit of what was it? Where did it go? Yeah, I mean we
Yeah.
could totally use that.
Yeah. I always forget how to pronounce it, which is embarrassing because it is, I know literally the name of one of the muses in Greek mythology. But yeah, fun fact for those of you who don't know, this started as a Greek mythology actual play, and then we've kind of expanded to other stuff. So yeah, I should know how to say it, but I don't.
Milpomene?
Yeah.
Probably something along those lines. Yeah. They like to be tricky, though. Yeah. So, is that what you want to do, Sophia?
I think I need to figure out what he's up to before I instill terror.
Okay. So, how do you want to do that?
I want to use some of that streetwise and reach out to some connections because yeah, I know people that know people, and somebody out there knows what the hell this idiot's doing.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a charisma plus streetwise roll.
Okay. And oh, let's roll. 3 successes.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to. Oh, and actually, you have some contacts, don't you? Yeah, you do. Let's see. Yeah. So you have a pretty decent contact, like somebody fairly important. Could be someone in like the legal system. It doesn't have to be, but that's definitely someone it could be, or maybe even someone who like works for the city government.
Yeah. Yeah, I know somebody who's well, there was this lady I was in Shady Pines with, and her grandson uh works for the city, so I know he's got some intel on Stanley. If anybody's gonna know what's going on, it's this guy.
Yeah. So you give him a call, and he just says, "Sophia, do you know what time it is?"
I forget about it. I,
What is it?
I need to know what's going on with this putt, Stanley's Bornak.
He's running for office. I know that.
Well, but who's funding him? How's he getting anywhere? Because he's not smart enough to pull this off on his own. So something's going on. Somebody out there is helping him, and I want to know who's behind his campaign.
Oh, I heard that he's got some highfalutin type. You know, somebody with a lot of money. Somebody with a lot of contacts too. I kept hearing the name Pentex, but it doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
I'll have to talk to Blanche about that.
Yeah, you do that. Anyway, it's late, Sophia.
All right. Well, I'm. You just be ready because I may have to go give you a call back sometime soon.
Stay out of trouble.
I'm sure it's like 10 a.m. in Sicily time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's true. It's true. So now that you've met or not met with, talked to your contact, what would you be doing?
I think at this point, I'd probably be trying to figure out if Blanche already knows this guy, and if not, how we can get Blanche to get to know this guy, because I know that Blanches are in to whatever this guy has got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Blanche, how's your date going?
Oh, the date is great. I would say that at some point, she convinces dear Biff to escort her home for the evening, and uh, obviously gets a kiss goodnight at the door, and then offers to have him come in for a drink. And it's a great date. It went great. She's managed to get him home. It
Yeah,
wasn't hard.
right. Uh, I will say that you don't know, the details of Sophia's conversation, but you as a player, uh,
Mhm.
I will make this connection that you notice that there is a card in Biff's wallet whenever he goes to pay, and you see a logo and the name next to it is Pentex.
Gotcha. Okay. Definitely makes note of that. I would say that I assume that the girls would probably end up reconvening back at the house at some point. But with the knowledge that Biff will still be there when they arrive, she's definitely gone and used because she is a consensualist. Biff actually knows that she's a vampire, but she has used the lingering kiss on him, post
Okay.
feeding on him to essentially addict him. I mean, this may be the third or fourth time she's done it to this poor man this week, in the last couple dates this week, but he is fully and truly at this point addicted to Blanche's kiss.
Yeah, and I don't know how entrenched our girls are in local kindred society, uh, but a human knowing that you are a kindred would definitely be a major no-no. So, if that ever got out that Blanche has been giving away that information, it would be a big deal.
Blanche, if confronted about it, would say something like "Fee and fi, no, none of my gentlemen callers would ever betray my trust that way."
Yeah, not a man.
For Blanche
Not even
Devereaux.
Rose, is there anything else you would be doing at the hospital, or just kind of finishing up your normal stuff?
Um, yeah, I think it was just trying to like get information, get some bags of blood, feed her swarm of strays. Um, and since she'd have the least to do, she'd probably be the first to arrive home after, uh, from the three remaining of the
Right.
girls. And when she comes in, she has Souffle with her, and now Souffle's boyfriend, an orange cat named Strudel.
Adorable.
So she walks in with a couple of bags, but those bags that are like lined, um, so that cold things stay cold type of thing. So
Hmm.
she has a couple of those. Um, they're all lined. You can't really see what's in them. And two cats.
And when
Are
you
they
walk in,
rustling?
Blanche and Biff are definitely on the couch.
No.
Not no no no. They are fully clothed on the couch. Biff maybe looks a little stunned and out of it, but Blanche is just she's kind of sitting, the way Blanche does, kind of not on his lap, but basically right on his lap, and flipping through a People magazine or something as you walk through the door.
Yeah, she definitely didn't. But I'm pretty sure like this happens relatively often. Um, so it wouldn't be like too kind of crazy, too out of the ordinary. It's just she can never get used to it. Just the random people in the house.
Mhm.
So she'd probably startle a little bit, and she would be a lot less worried about the man that's in our living room and a lot more worried about the fact that you can see the cats.
Oh, yeah.
So she'd just kind of be like, oh, Blanche, you came home early, didn't you?" And she's trying to shoo the cats to run to her bedroom, so that you hopefully don't notice them as she's putting the bags on the table.
Yeah, Blanche, give me
To
a wits and awareness roll.
perfect. Let me see. Wits and awareness.
As they just like scurry past.
Not Blanche's strength, that's for sure.
Oh,
She
good.
gets one success is all.
Okay. No, I think the cats are stealthy enough that you don't
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah,
and
Blanche
and
is
they
fully
would
just flipping
know.
through her magazine, and she just, without even looking, says, "Oh, hi, Rose. Say hi, Biff. This is Biff." And Biff just kind of raises his hand and puts it back down, and he's just kind of like out of it on the couch.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I like to think it would just flashback real quick to right before Rose opens the front door. She looks down at the cats and she tells them, "Okay, they can't know that I have brought you guys here. And so you're going to have to be quiet and go straight to my room." And so that's how they know to be as
Mhm.
silent as they can. And she's just leaning down, and she just looks like a crazy little old lady, just leaning down and talking directly at the cats to anybody who's driving by.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, she's like, "Oh, yes, I didn't think you'd get back so quickly. I'm assuming it went well. Oh, hello, Biff."
Biff just raises his hand again, kind of very out of it. You can see two little, very clear, just puncture marks on his neck. He kind of looks. If I feel like if this were a cartoon, you would see just his eyes were just swirls. He's just
Mhm.
fully taken right now.
Well, and one handy thing about Kindred, you can easily cover up those bite marks. A lick from Kindred will erase that mark.
Yep.
Mm.
Use your saliva to
Yeah.
um it's like the healing agent that is in kindred bodies.
Mhm.
Your saliva just makes it
Yep.
just heal and
Yep.
closes them up. Mhm.
I do
I
like the
like to
idea
think,
that while this gentleman caller is still in her home, Blanche has not bothered to cover him up yet, and is
Yeah.
just
yeah, she
he's just
probably waits till like the last
mhm,
second before he leaves to do it. I like that.
yeah.
And she just goes, "Oh, well, oh, you do have to treat them a little better. Um, Biff, do you like cheesecake? I just made some earlier today, and I think you would love it."
Biff cannot form words right now, so you just get
She takes that as a yes. And she's like, "You know what? You are right. I will pack it for you to go." Beautiful. And she goes and she starts kind of wrapping up a slice for him to take on his way out.
Rose, honey, you really need to get some new perfume. He smells like a wet cat in here.
Oh, oh, well, I wasn't wearing any, but
Oh, then
I,
you really need to take longer showers, honey.
yes, and you need to. And she just walks away. No, going to the bathroom.
There was a moment there where Rose was about to come back, one of her very rare but very good comebacks to Blanche, and you just saw Blanche close the People magazine and kind of look at her, and then she wanders off and just goes back to her magazine. Very smug, self-satisfied look on her face.
Mhm, mhm. uh, Dorothy, back at the motel, you had mentioned that you're wanting to get a little bit more information out of Stanley.
Well, maybe yes, maybe she's ready to move on to her ulterior motive for inviting Stanley to an out-of-the-way motel. She might also be looking for an opportunity to feed.
Yeah. How would you try to feed on him? Because he probably doesn't know that he's being fed upon.
That's the hope, anyway. Yeah, the same way he got her pregnant. Ply him with a bottle of cheap wine.
Sure. Yeah, it is very interesting to say the least. Knowing that that is the actual canon story is that Dorothy was unconscious. It's very unfortunate, but uh, you know, props to Golden Girls for back in the day having those tough conversations about stuff like that. So, uh, yeah, I think uh, I think that it probably wouldn't be enough just for alcohol. Uh, would
No,
Dorothy be doing like more, like trying to be sneaky?
no, I think that she would just invite him to. I mean, he knows why he's here in this hotel as well.
Sure,
They had romantic interludes off and on throughout the show.
sure,
I mean, it
sure.
happened as early as season one. It happened all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pathetic, but
I
it
mean,
does.
it's more like if you're gonna try and take advantage of him in this way. I didn't know if you were gonna
Mhm.
try and actually get him drunk or like just use the bottle of wine to knock him out.
Oh,
Also an option.
Just bonk over the top of his head.
no, I was thinking that Dorothy would use the wine as a convenient excuse for what would essentially be vampire or kindred powers of um, domination or whatever.
Yeah. So would you be? Let's see. What would you be using as far as your powers?
Well, I do have cloud memory.
Okay.
Uh, that could be like after the attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a really likely roll, but it could work.
Yeah.
Um, this is also like I don't know a lot about this game. I don't have a lot of
Sure.
experience. Like like what? How does a vampire feed? How does a
Um.
kindred go about doing this?
Honestly, it depends. It's very individual. So
Mhm.
for some people, let's see. I
I
forget
think
who it
that
was.
for I think that Go ahead.
Oh, so like Sophia, for example, is an alley cat, which
Right.
for that predator type, that is someone who is going to take by force. Like they're going to just jump somebody in an alley and
Yep.
eat them. Uh, because you are a cleaver, like
Yep.
we've established, it's close to the consensualist, but this person doesn't know what's going on. So,
Yep.
you're getting someone who you're already close to. But yeah,
Hmm.
having that cloud memory um, is definitely a good way to be able to say, like, you could do this however you want and then cloud the memory
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay. So let's start by, plying him with like sex and wine and a pathetic evening. Um,
It is Stan. Yeah.
Try the cloud mind and then, failing that, club him with the bottle.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You know,
I love
humans,
that that's still an option.
right.
yeah, plans A, B, and C. They're all they're
Yeah.
all they're all well within hand.
Yeah, humans are very easy to cloud their mind, so you don't have any problems with that. Um,
And club.
yeah, I'm sure Sophia is in the background, just like waiting,
To
hoping
club him.
she'll do it. Yeah, even if Dorothy doesn't do it, maybe Sophia sneaks in and just whacks him.
That's not a yeah, that's not totally out of hand. Okay, yeah, so uh Dorothy approaches him with two glasses and a bottle of red, and pours one for herself, and sits down on the edge of the bed, and that's like catnip for Stan. He can't help himself. He absolutely starts gnawing on her neck first.
I love
She
that
says, "Oh,
Stan
Stan,
left
stop it."
after like 30 something years, just up and left, did not even tell her. But then,
Well, yeah,
his
he no,
woman.
he married he ran away with the flight attendant,
Right, right.
Chrissy.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I was just watching the second episode before stream where their daughter's getting married, and Dorothy's talking
Hmm.
about how like she found out that they were getting divorced from Stan's lawyer, because that's the kind of
Hmm.
shitbag he is.
And he's very
Oh yeah.
unrepentant about that entire thing for the whole show.
Yeah, he does not
Constantly trying to
apologize.
get back into Dorothy's bed, or actually tried to marry her again at one point. It's
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Zero
the 80s for
remorse.
it.
Stan clearly had
Thanks,
some
Scum.
game.
Something. He had
How?
something.
Who knows,
Something.
honestly.
He had
Maybe.
I
impeccable
think that
timing for desperation.
That's true.
it's that, and it's also like
Correct.
Dorothy is a character that really exhibits like poor self-image. You know, she
Yeah.
doesn't think very highly of herself. She's a perfectionist who strives to do her best at all times, and no matter how much she gets done, she just isn't satisfied.
Yeah. Which is
That's
wild
very
as an
true.
outsider watching, because it's like Dorothy's a badass and deserves so much better. But
Absolutely.
here we are.
But she's had Sophia her whole life, comparing her to everybody else.
Right.
I'm
So
sure that doesn't
doesn't,
help at all.
yeah, at all.
Mhm.
We're going to psychoanalyze the Golden Girls.
Every single
Which
one
is
of
why
them,
we're here.
all night long. I know
All
it.
of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But Blanche, totally innocent. Never done anything wrong.
No self-image issues at
Absolutely
all.
Yeah, that's true.
She is in her late 30s after all.
For
In
how
5 minutes,
long?
she'll be early 30s.
Yeah. I do love that the lore of the whole show is very inconsistent. Like they have different numbers of children depending on the episode, like different numbers of family members.
Oh yeah, they just keep pulling sisters out of Blanche's family tree from somewhere.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, so Dorothy, after you have fed on Stan, is there anything else you'd be doing?
Yeah, just trying to make him forget that it happened.
Oh yeah, like I said, that's very easy.
Maybe like digging around in his pockets or his wallet for clues.
Yeah. So doing
That's
so,
a good idea.
I will say when you're feeding, you notice something's a little off, because like you had said, this is not the first time you've done this. Uh,
Picante.
Something like that. So it's extremely frowned upon for kindred to feed on each other, but it does happen sometimes. And that is actually how you gain more power typically as kindred. It lowers your generation, it makes you more powerful. Closer to Kane, which is the founder of the kindred. Um, it tastes a little, not fully, like you couldn't sense the beast in him, but it tastes a little bit like kindred vitae, which is kindred's bodily fluid. And then digging around in his wallet, you get the same information that had already been gathered elsewhere, that there is a Pentex card in his wallet. Sorry, laughing at Heather's comment in the chat about Southern girls can pull siblings out of thin air.
It's not wrong.
So, Sophia, you have at least been there for part of this. I don't want to assume, but I'm guessing that when things start getting a little heated, that Sophia's probably not going to stay and watch.
No, I think that's as things start to get heated, that's when I'm gonna want to bring some terror into the scene.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
this has been my yeah.
you could also do it after, like once he's been clouded, and like you could hide so that Dorothy leaves, doesn't know you were there, and then terrify him.
I do like the idea of really just kind of driving him crazy uh,
Mm-hmm.
with that male pomony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me see. What was that? So yeah, I would say give me uh, charisma and intimidation, which you were also very good at. Shocker.
nope, it did not. Hold on. Okay. I got 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. What do you do? Because so with your daunt and your melpomene, you can use your supernatural presence to cause fear without being seen. They just have to be able to hear you. And so,
Yeah.
like lurking outside of his room, you can make your voice heard without being seen.
Oh yeah, he has no idea where I'm at. He knows that there's something going on, and he can't tell if he's just imagining it or if he's kind of going, if he's kind of going crazy or if I'm actually there somewhere. But I'm having a really good time just screwing with him and having him run around the house looking for me.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I feel like that episode where Sophia's got the big butcher knife, the one from you know where everybody's up and like they know that somebody's there, they're hearing some noises, and then as of course as they're going back to bed, I emerge with my big butcher knife. But
Right.
I've got other plans for this butcher knife with Stanley though, so you know we'll have to talk about that when we get there. I just
Ooh.
don't want Dorothy
Also,
to know too much about it.
right. Also, because you have 2 dots in celerity and you've got your rapid reflex, I mean, you tell me if this is how you see it, but I like the idea that you do have just like a big fuck off knife with you, and you like just appear in the front of the big glass window, and then you just use your celerity to disappear essentially. Like you move so fast you can't see you leave. So it's like that
Guys,
classic vampire move of like you're just there and then
what a
gone.
terrifying picture. Absolutely terrifying.
I mean, it's Sophia, so I'm enjoying the pranks.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm just hysterical because this jackass, doesn't know what to do with himself right now. He has no idea what he's up against. And I can tell that he's like still a little woozy from whatever Dorothy has done to him. So he's a little confused right now, but this is definitely cracking me up and giving me the chance to just have so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. For the players who may not know, and for those of you at home who may also not know, when a kindred gives what they call the kiss, which is feeding on someone, uh, it is described as like extreme sexual pleasure. Like it is the most, what is the right word? I don't know. It's a word that I'm blanking on now. But it's extremely
Euphoric?
enjoyable. Very yeah, euphoric. Thank you. That was exactly what I was trying to think of, and just words gone. Um, Yes, Elena. Just E words. uh, so, I mean, he is absolutely out of it. And I love the mental image of Sophia is just laughing to herself as she's walking away, but still has the Melpomene going. So it's just like echoing this cackling laughter in his head, which is even more horrifying on top of all of that. So eventually, the four of you have all made your way back home.
Yeah, by this time, Rose has um bathed and then went into a room and asked the cats to sniff her to make sure she smells okay because she was so like worried about like not smelling okay.
Yeah. I feel like
So the,
Souffle like smells you and then just does that like cat thing where they like sneeze and shake their head.
yeah, yeah, probably. She's like, okay, that's good enough. And she would go back out and she'd probably be like cleaning up and like washing everything that they used for like the cheesecake and stuff. So she'd be in the chicken in the kitchen. Oh my gosh. She'd be in the kitchen, kind of like doing dishes and stuff.
Makes sense. Dorothy, as you slink your way back in, uh, would Biff be gone
With a
by this point,
lanai.
or or is Biff still kind of there?
Oh no, Blanche is still reading the Same People magazine, posted up on the couch with Biff, fully watching Dorothy or Rose clean and pick up and do chores, but it's just on her second read through.
Amazing. And Sophia, because you do have your celerity and you could actually get home faster than your daughter, do you?
Of course. She has no idea that I've been gone this whole time.
Yeah, just like sneaks
And
in.
if
Nobody
anybody
knows.
tells exactly, if anybody says anything, these cats are gonna get it. Rose.
She she really didn't think anybody would know that they were there. So you could see like full panic. But she's not going to um what is it like say anything, but you just see full like panic in her face.
Well, if Sophia walks out of her room, nobody knows that she hasn't been in there the whole time anyway, right?
Right.
Everybody else has been out of the house.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sophia, you've been awfully quiet this evening.
You know, I was just so tired from spending the whole day trying to find a damn tangerine that I had to go take a nap.
Rose would ask Sophia to sniff her. Be like, can you
Sniff
can
you,
you
I can smell
smell?
you from over here.
But I just took a bath.
And where did the bath take you?
Well, I had a quite a nice time. Turned on some candles and everything. Um, but do I still smell?
I mean, you might have turned on the candles, but it sounds to me like you forgot the soap.
No, I used soap. It was. I'm pretty sure it was soap. And she's gonna go back into the bathroom and look at the bottle that she used to double check that it was soap.
It's cat shampoo.
Oh
Mhm.
no.
So yeah, Dorothy comes in and like sees Blanche and Sophia in the living room and like looks kind of guilty and says like oh I just I just stepped out for a minute. I had to go pick up a crescent wrench.
You went
A
to go see
crescent
that idiot
wrench.
Stanley, didn't you?
Oh ma, yeah, I went and saw him. You knew I did, didn't you?
Of course, I'm your mother. I know everything.
What else would Dorothy Zabornak be doing out on a Saturday night?
She comes back out. She's like, "It was soap. Oh, hello, Dorothy. Do you want to
What
sniff
was
me?"
soap? No, Rose. We've got more important things to deal with here. Do you know that Stanley's working for some company called Pentax?
Would any of us have heard about it?
Yeah, that is a
Blanche.
fantastic question.
And
I would say,
also, are you using stuff from Werewolf?
uh, I mean, Pentex is all over World of Darkness, so yes.
Yeah. I
um,
Because I heard it and I was like, oh wow.
yeah, yeah. I would say if you want to give me intelligence and
Oh, because we know I have so much of that.
probably I would say academics, maybe.
I know Dorothy's got specialty in that, so
Yeah, go for it, Dorothy.
fantastic.
I'm literally only rolling one dice.
That's okay. I've got a million of them.
Or Rose.
I got a
Well,
success in it though, so 1 out of
There you go.
1. Look at that.
You
all
have heard the name.
right.
You have heard the name for
Nice.
sure. Do you know what it means? Probably
No, not at all.
not.
I got 3 successes. My details say 3 dots and 3 onks.
Okay.
That means three
Yeah,
failures and 3 successes.
Hmm.
yeah, that's okay. The failures don't matter as long as you have the
Should
successes.
I re-roll those?
No, no, that's just how
Okay.
the game works. The failures are just
Yeah.
failures. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so 3 successes, especially because you have specialty. What is your specialty in academics?
Teaching.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, teaching you wouldn't necessarily know off the
Mm,
top of your head. But I think even with 3 successes, you've heard of Pentex. You probably haven't heard a lot about them, just because they try to be as under the radar as possible. But Pentex is one of those like umbrella corporations. They own a lot of smaller companies, a lot of like shell companies. Also, thank you, Sean, for the hydrate. Make sure to drink your water, everyone. Um, yeah, so they own a lot of smaller companies. They do a lot of different things. Trying to think in Miami, what would be the most likely? Um, you know that they do a number of like environmental type services, but you've probably heard some sketchy things about them. Like they do things that seem good, but then you hear some things that make it seem like they're doing shady stuff. Like that's just their cover.
Sounds very Stan.
That's kind of what I thought. I was like, oh, this is too perfect.
Still lounging on the couch, Blanche goes, "Oh, Biff, honey, I saw that you had a Pentex card in your wallet, didn't you, this evening? What do you know about this? What do you know about Pentex, Biff, dear?
uh, I feel like he's starting to kind of come back.
Wake up, Biff.
Uh,
Wake up."
just slaps him a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you said he works in oil. What was the specific?
He was like a corporate lobbyist.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. So, fun fact, this is over the table lore, but Pentex was actually founded as the premium oil company in the 1800s. So, oil lobbyists would have some ties to Pentex for sure. And he would let you know that his company is one of their subsidiaries.
Interesting, honey. What do you know about these folks that might be backing Candidate for governor.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was some idiot. They just want to get him in office and do whatever they want. Have their own little puppet.
Sounds
So,
like our Stanley.
any other politician too.
I mean, puppets sound fun. I don't know what the fuss is about.
You're killing me
And
with the rose. Too perfect.
and
Really wonderful.
she now seeing that he's like okay enough to talk, she hands him the slice of cheesecake that she saved for him. She's like, "Here you go, dear. Do let me know how that tastes. I tried out a new recipe. Quite proud of it."
Yeah, he's just like still a little out of it, so he's just like kind of mindlessly eating it. But you can tell he seems to really be enjoying it.
With his
Nice.
hands.
That makes her happy.
No, he does have a fork. I just didn't have a fork.
Yeah.
Rose, we are not talking about St. Olaf's puppet show.
Well, no, but I heard puppets. I did you know? So once at St. Olaf, we were having a puppet show, and we have that every year. And they actually let me be in charge of the puppets this time. And I had never made a puppet before, so I was so worried. But then I asked for some help, and nobody wanted to help me. So I ended up doing them by myself, but you should have seen them. They they told me they were the best puppets that the puppet show had had in about 10 years. Can you believe that? 10 years. And I had never made a puppet before. So whatever this puppet business is, I'm pretty sure I can help.
10 years. 10 years. That store has been going on for 10 years, Rose.
Of course you like puppets. You're a big dummy.
Now that's not a very nice thing to say. I'm not I was going to make a puppet of you as well, but now I won't.
A puppet or a voodoo doll?
I haven't made up my mind yet.
Well,
So,
sometimes I'm not always nice because you have to remember I did have a stroke at one point. So, can't you forgive an old lady? I mean, just once in a while.
I do not think that that is an excuse, actually. You remember, I had triple heart bypass surgery as well. We've all had our fair share of hardships in this world, Sophia. So,
Ladies, enough fighting. We have to get to the bottom of this issue.
so
Or else, I have to win the race for governor.
I don't see how that's such a bad thing. Besides, obviously, well, the big burning thing in the sky.
So Blanche has 2 dots in politics. Would that be something that I could utilize to see if I feel like she got those 2 dots through hard work. I'm just curious, maybe
Oh,
that
yeah.
I could use
Hard.
that for some
Emphasis
insight
on
into what
hard.
Pentex might, yes, labor, what Pentex might be doing, wanting to get involved in politics at this kind of level, and maybe why they might want somebody like Stan as their figurehead.
Oh, so I won't even make you roll for this because you have those
Hmm.
dots, so you would probably have some knowledge. I think that you would know Biff is probably pretty on point with what he had
Hmm.
said. Like they just want somebody as sort of a stooge. Um, and as far as politics, because you do have those 2 dots, I think you probably would know that. Maybe you didn't think of it at first, but Pintex does a fair amount of lobbying, especially because they do have, you know, interests in oil. They have a lot of like chemical and energy kind of investments. They have some investments even in like nuclear power. So yeah, a lot of
Interesting.
lobbying is necessary.
Hmm.
Hmm.
See, I think it's funny that like both sides agree um that like Stan kind of sucks. And so it's like we can use him because he sucks.
I feel like somewhere
Exactly.
in a Pentex boardroom, the words "stands a yuts" came out of someone's mouth.
Out of somebody's mouth, yeah.
Someone
And
called
then
a
Oh,
Dorothy's
yuts.
absolutely.
ear rang.
Yeah,
Yeah, a yuts, but a
So,
yuts we can use.
yeah.
so player to player, Pentax is our next lead or whatever.
Hmm.
How do we approach?
Hmm.
Well, we do have an in with Biff, but we might be able to use his connections with Pentex or the to get more information potentially. But I'm not quite sure how we would what we would do to figure out what they're wanting with Stan or why they're wanting the governorship, other than pure
Well,
corporate greed.
Yeah.
you brought up at dinner that you might have another candidate that they could back.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not uncommon for a big player to like back multiple people in a single election.
Mm-hmm.
Like that happens all the time, right? Like, could we approach them seeking their funds? Do we have to like make the campaign seem more legitimate and then approach them for funds and then, surreptitiously more information?
I mean, I think that because as we established, Dorothy would know that there are some at least rumors of sketchy dealings. Uh, I mean, Kindred are by definition inhuman and monsters. So while a fair number of Kindred try to retain as much humanity as they can, you are going to do some really terrible things in your unlife.
Hmm.
But Pentex is a different kind of evil. So I think even though you don't know a lot about them, uh, it seems like they may not be someone you want to deal with necessarily, and especially like trying to somehow get in contact with them about Stan might be difficult because they are a massive multinational corporation.
Hmm.
I think we need to try to
Okay.
convince Stan not to run.
I talked to Stan and he's dead set on running. Nothing's gonna change his mind. He's not even really concerned about whether he wins or not, really. He's really just after padding his checking account while he can.
I mean, that makes sense. Sometimes just being nominated makes you feel really good. You don't even need to win.
At the same time, he's gonna bilk a lot of retirees out of their hard-earned nest eggs, and I don't think that we can let that slide.
To be fair, as if a certain other gubernatorial candidate wouldn't do the exact same thing.
Oh God, we're
And
gonna have the first Floridian governor that made his money off of a baked potato opener.
It was bound to
there's
happen
more.
eventually. It's Florida. I can say that I
There's
was
something
born
I
in
didn't
Florida.
tell you. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just saying I was born in Florida, so I can talk as much shit as I want.
There's more, ladies. I gave Stan a kiss tonight.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Dorothy, what's the matter with you? Didn't you learn anything the first 30 times?
A girl's got to eat.
Oh, I
But
I
more important,
brought something too. So, you don't have to do that anymore. Honestly, just the thought of it makes me. And she'll open the fridge and you see that she brought bags from the hospital. And she's like, in a very kind of like girl's girl, like, I got you type of way.
Rose. Oh, my sweet. Can we like do the group hug thing?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Aw,
come here. And she'll grab the other two, like, whether they're willing or unwilling, she does not care. And
absolutely.
bring you all in for a hug.
I just have to, as a
Aw.
quick aside, say I love that VTM is a system known for being a little bit more like brutal and bloody and violent, and we're here having group hugs and adopting
and
stray cats.
and cooking
Every
checks.
Yeah, yeah.
every scene has been absolutely adorable. Every
Hmm.
single scene has been just gorgeous.
Well, maybe not the
Um,
stand.
well,
There
he's
was a
getting what he
fade, I'm
deserves.
sure.
Also, the horror show afterwards made it like really cathartic.
Yeah.
Um,
Cathartic. Hmm.
no, now listen, girls. Um, there was something off about Stanley tonight, and I don't just mean his toupee, but there was more hair under the rug than there has been before, if you catch my drift.
I
Someone's
hope
been plying him with I wrote it I wrote it down in the notes wrong, but vampire blood.
Vitae.
Vitae.
Do you
I
think
wrote
he's
down
got
aqua vitae, which
another
is not
woman?
correct.
just the brand
So
name of it.
close.
Another something, Rose.
But who else would want to sleep with him? No offense, Dorothy.
None taken.
Dorothy didn't want to sleep with him the first time.
It's true.
Oh man.
Or the last time.
Or probably a lot of the times in between.
So we have a Stanley with more hair on his head, who's been getting some sort of
Well,
favors.
she did say down under, which I think he should get checked out. That is not normal at his age.
That's that's true.
That
I
is
love
true.
I love Rose's misunderstanding.
Yeah,
But
but
if
so
he's been seeing someone else, well, maybe we can do something about that if you want to be the only lady in his life again. I'm
Rose,
sure
the
Sophia.
only thing I need to do is get to a clinic.
so
I like how
we've
Biff is
got a
overhearing everything, by the
oh
way.
yeah, Biff is just like he's got his like crumbs of like cheesecake. He's still
Hmm.
kind of stunned and he's kind of just like kind of blearily looking around. He's not really I don't know that he's taking in a ton of what's going on. And every so often when he gets a little too sharp-eyed, Blanche just turns and gives him a little wink and
And I'm sure Dorothy has probably erased some memories here and there as
Hmm.
well.
So we've got a Stan who's running for governor. He's being backed by a big shady corporation, and Stan is being youthified using vitae from vampires. We know that that's strange, certainly when connected to the fact that he's running for office and being backed by these big mysterious people. The question is, what do we do with that? Girls, what do we do with this information?
I mean,
Well,
it's time to turn him into our puppet. I mean, seems like Dorothy here has already worked her magic. So we need to make sure that Stanley's on our side and get him away from these other people.
oh, do you mean turn him? Oh, but then Dorothy, you'd have to deal with him forever. We'd have to deal with him forever.
God, I wish I was dead
Ma,
again.
we can't turn him. That's not an option here.
Well, we can just keep him as our little pet. He'll keep us all fed for quite a while.
I feel like Sophia,
Well,
you would probably also know, like, you could just kill him.
we could. We could, but what kind of fun would that be? I mean, Stanley's tortured me for years. Now it's time for me to give it back to him a little bit. He's
Ma,
got
he's
some
the
debts to
father of
pay
my
off.
children. He's the father of your grandchildren. We can't just kill him.
Exactly. Relax, pussycat. That's why I said we are not killing him. We're just going to keep him around for a while.
Oh, Ma.
Well, that might not be a bad idea. You know, we just have to pretend to be nice to him. Just pretend like you care for a little bit. You know, if you hold a bird gently, it'll stay. But if you hold it too hard and squeeze it, its eyes will bug out and it'll die.
Oh God,
You
Rose,
know,
have you been squeezing birds in the park again?
No, no, I could, no.
we had a situation like this back in Sicily. Picture it, Sicily, 1928. Okay, there was this guy that was running for office, and he just really wasn't a good guy. He wasn't a good candidate, and exactly like you're talking about, he had to disappear. And I'm not gonna say your father had anything to do with it, but my Saul, he was a good man, but he might have been a magician a time or two. Okay, so we could handle it that way as well.
Your father did magic? Oh, that is lovely.
Yeah, Rose, he was freaking Houdini.
Your father was Houdini?
Yeah, Rose, he got out of a block of ice one time.
Oh, that's incredible.
He was a magician at getting himself in and out of bad situations. I'll tell you that much.
We could definitely use someone like that now. It would make all of this a lot easier.
Okay, I'm gonna call Stanley and tell him to come over. And we're gonna
Okay.
I
give him
will
a full
make
court
more
press.
pie.
Uh, I feel like he probably doesn't take your call.
Mm,
So I'm not making pie.
This Miss Rose, she's probably
What do
making
we
pie.
do now? He's not answering.
You think something happened to him? You think those bad people know that you talked to him? Oh, I love a mystery. This is so fun.
Do we have to return to the last place we saw him?
I mean, do we know? Well, I'm sure we know where Stan like lives. We could probably go to his. I'm sure he has an apartment somewhere.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it seems fair. Do we have time to do that? Like, is it still night enough?
I think probably tonight, because you have spent a lot of time doing other things, there wouldn't be time before sunup. But yeah, you could definitely hit his condo the next night. Because of course
Okay,
he's
so
lives
first
in a
thing at
condo.
nightfall.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
I can also put my friend Harry Weston on this because Harry knows a lot of people too, and can make some phone calls, and Harry can keep an eye out for him all day tomorrow while we're resting.
Ooh.
Oh, I have an
Ooh.
idea. I can put. Oh, well, you're not supposed to know, but I guess the cat's out of the bag, and a literal cat walks out of my room. Um, but I can make a souffle or strudel follow him around during the day since we can't. And they'll tell us if if where he goes, I suppose, if that's any help. And also, if the cats do this for us, they are allowed to stay in the house.
Strudel and souffle. I think if this keeps up, we're gonna have to turn cat, those cats and Stanley into strudels and souffles because I'm getting hungry, Rose.
Oh no! she grabs both of them and picks them up and just takes a couple steps away from you.
So
I love
Sophia,
that
do
like
you
Sophie
call?
is like totally feral.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sophia, do you call Harry before you sleep for the night or for
Yes.
the day?
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I think he's very open to it, and probably says, "Yeah, I'll call him and have him come into the office."
Wonderful.
Um, would would Rose know where Stan lives?
Maybe. I mean,
Mm.
does Rose like him enough to
I
want to
think
spend
she's
time with him?
probably like the least outright horrible to him,
Yeah,
but she still tells him he's a pretty awful person. It's like you're a pretty awful man, you know.
yeah,
Um, but she doesn't berate him the way the others do.
right.
But
Um,
I feel like Harry would have an easy time luring him in because he's a doctor. So being able to call and be like, "Oh, Stanley, I've got your test results for this thing," you know.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, call him in to the office to be like, "Oh, it's a standard thing when you're running for governor. You gotta get a total physical."
oh well, the cats know where the hospital is. They can follow him out of that after that. Yeah,
Yeah, fantastic.
love it.
So the following night, as you all rouse from your slumber, uh, Sophia, you have a message from Harry, uh, saying that Stan was acting really strange. Looked like he was in really good shape. Like, looked like he had a full head of hair, not graying. Doesn't look like it was dyed. Uh, Looks 20 years younger. So, what would all of you be doing with this information?
Hmm.
See, because I, as a player, have got ideas, but it's all things Rose wouldn't think of. So this is so hard. And I think especially as like having like some more like just knowledge of the system as a whole.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she would definitely not come up with it. So I don't think I want to say anything.
Right. Not going to metagame too much.
Yeah.
I think I'd be working on some Sicilian curse to like put a stop to whatever's behind Stanley's run for office or some some type of protections, setting up some type of protection for
Okay.
for the girls. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what she'd say is like, you know, back um back in St. Olaf's, I used to have cats as well, but at first when I was really young, I get too excited and I pet the cats too hard and then they wouldn't like me and they'd run away. But as you get older, if you treat them good and leave them food um to eat and you feed them, and if you find out what kind of food they like and feed them that all the time, they stay around. And then even when I wanted to get rid of them, I couldn't. It just followed me around everywhere.
Just pet them a little harder, Rose. They'll go away.
Oh, Rose, what are you going on about? We have real problems here.
Well, what you can do that with people too. People are like animals.
Only if you're lucky.
She turns like beet red.
I had a boyfriend Marvin one way back when. Must be 3 years ago. He would not leave me alone either. He would just follow me around like a little puppy.
Well, actually, that is kind of what I meant, but not really. You see how Blanche keeps all of her men around because
Sometimes you could squeeze him just right, and his eyes would bug out too.
Dorothy ceases her pacing and throws herself into the sofa, and she says, "I don't want Stanley. I need his blood. But it sounds like I don't even get to have that anymore either."
well, what I'm saying is there's somebody else feeding him. So you
Which means he's
and
not my
Blanche
pet
take
anymore,
from them.
Rose.
Exactly. But
We
it
need
also
Rose to
means,
work her.
when you train a pet really good, then they do things. And Souffle and Strudel now, they know so many tricks. And even sometimes they don't want to do the tricks, but they do them anyways because I tell them to.
Mhm. See, Rose isn't dumb. Rose has emotional intelligence.
I mean, we know that Stanley's a dog, Rose, but do you really think you can make
Oh
him
no, you
respond
can't
in the same
insult
way as
dogs that
the
way.
cats?
Probably not. Cats are very smart.
Okay, so we go to where Stanley is and we make him heal.
Well, if we can probably, hmm, I don't know.
Look, and Ma, if your detective friend is right, it sounds like he can take a punch now.
Oh, absolutely. And you're the right one.
And I say
You're
we
the
start
right
giving
one
him
to give it to him.
fucking A, right? Okay, can we track down fucking him?
Stan or the doctor?
Mm, Um, no, Stan.
Yeah, so if
Uh,
it's the evening,
okay.
um, then my familiar would have come back to me. And so they would be able to tell me where they last, like lead us to where they last were.
Yeah.
They don't know streets and maps and stuff, so they'd physically lead us, unfortunately. But it's something.
Yeah. With little cat legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would take a little bit of time, but the cats could lead you to Stan's condo. And all of you would know the fact that, Stan has gone out in the daytime means he's for sure not a vampire. But this rapid change in appearance is unusual for sure.
So we need to figure out where Stanley's keeping his supply of vampire blood, or where he's getting his vitae from.
More importantly, who's supplying it?
Exactly.
I think because you guys have had these conversations, I think it would make sense that with enough discussion, you could put together a likely culprit for the supply of vitae would be Pentex. I mean, it stands to reason that like a large corporation would have at least a couple of supernatural creatures. You're muted.
Rose, you're on mute.
Oh, oops. Thank you. Um, but yeah, it makes sense that it'd be like, hey, not only do you get like money and power and stuff, but we can give you this secret third thing to make you feel younger and stuff. And they don't have to tell him that in taking that blood, he's essentially bonding himself to the provider in more ways
Yeah,
than one, right? To where
yeah,
he physically cannot disobey them.
yeah. So that is, I think that your characters might not know because I'm assuming that even though you are kindred, you're probably not super involved. I mean, maybe Blanche is a little more than the others, but I don't think you're necessarily super involved in kindred society, especially because most kindred are younger when they are turned. So, you already had kind of that like older lady mindset, whereas a lot of kindred, even if they are older, are still going to be more in that like let's go party and have fun and like the youth culture type stuff, less of the Golden Girls scene. So you may not know as much about the way things work for kindred, but yeah, you absolutely bring up some very good points that over the table I will let you all know. Yeah, by giving someone vitae, especially over repeated sessions, you you create what's called a ghoul, and you do make it so that they cannot disobey you.
And that's why I was saying we needed to make him our pet so that we could be the ones that he is feeding on and then he becomes ours to do what we want.
Well, we'd
Got
have
it.
to stop him somehow from eating their food.
All we have to do is get him over to the house. Between Dorothy and the slut over here, somebody will be able to speak to him in the ways that Stanley responds.
You see Blanche when you say Dorothy and the slut. You see Blanche kind of look around and look offended for a second, then
Perfect Blanche move.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ma, he's my dog. I'll do it.
That's a good girl, pussycat.
Wait, so if she gets to keep a pet, that means I get to keep mine as well, right? You're not going to kick
The
them out, are
difference,
you? They've been
Rose,
so helpful.
mine's house trained.
Oh, so are mine. Mine can do more tricks than he can. Mine listen better too.
Rose, if
Stan
you
house
don't keep
And
trained.
they
He
That's
has
don't
a
my
thing.
talk.
nexus.
Rose, if you don't keep those cats away from me, I'm gonna train them on how to get into the oven.
Oh my God. That's too funny.
such a
Wait,
such a
did we head
perfect
out
stuff.
to his condo though?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope we
I
did.
think that was the plan is that you were headed to the condo. So eventually you do make your way there, and he seems to be just busy like poring over paperwork.
Well, it's Dorothy's turn to seduce him.
And
Blanche
she
kind of
looks at
nudges
Dorothy and
Dorothy.
just
Dorothy, it's time to work your magic. Get in there.
I
Kind of
love the idea of
stumbles
Dorothy like
forward and
knocking on the door with the other three behind her.
it's
Well,
like
I'm gonna wait
wildly
in the car.
uncomfortable.
I'm waiting.
Yeah,
I'm waiting in the
yeah.
car, sitting on top of my phone books, so that I can drive the getaway vehicle when we're done.
Amazing.
She like looks over her shoulder at the two, like egging her on, and she knocks on the door and straightens her clothes and stands up tall like she always does and waits for him to come to the door.
Yeah, it takes a little while. You hear some kind of muttering, and then when he opens the door, you have not seen Stanley look this good in almost 40 years.
She looks him up and down, and she catches herself for a moment. She's kind of taken, aback herself. She's maybe slightly attracted to him. There was something she saw in Stan once, that old trickster, and maybe she sees something in him now. Um, she says, Stanley, uh, how are you tonight?
Oh, fantastic. I didn't expect to see you again so soon.
Well, you know, I was in the neighborhood and I thought I'd drop by.
In
Can
the
I come
neighborhood.
in?
I mean, you don't ever come over here. Hell, I didn't even know you knew where I lived.
Oh, Stanley, you've told me at some point, surely.
Give me a manipulation and persuasion roll, please.
I don't have to lie. Of course I have to lie. Why would I lie? I couldn't just tell the truth, could I?
It's like, hey, we were led here by some cats who
I
have been
followed the cats,
following you
Stan.
around. Some cats
I
who've
mean,
been
if
following
Rose
you
said
around
that,
for 12
if
hours.
Rose said that, there would be
Yeah,
no roll
so-
required. It'd just be like, oh, okay, that's
Oh
just
my
Rose.
God. Well, out of 6, I had 6. I had fucking 6, and I got 2.
Okay, I mean that's still 2 successes.
Not nothing.
He's just like, okay, yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Well, aren't you going to invite me in?
Well, when we talked yesterday, you made it sound like we were running against each other, so I don't know if I should be having a late night rendezvous with my opponent.
Didn't you already?
I mean, you erased his memory, so
All right, good point.
debatable.
Debatable. Okay, how about um 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 well, this isn't about the election, Stan. This is about our daughter, Kate. Um the they're planning on having Robbie's christening soon, and I wanted to talk to you about going halvesies on a gift.
Yeah, I mean, just do the usual. Put my name on there, and I'll pay you back later.
Lazy Stan, as always.
Stanley, I'm feeling parched. It's in this Miami heat this evening. I was wondering if you might invite me in for a glass of water.
Oh, Blanche, Rose, you're all here. Well, this
Oh,
is
Hello,
we
Stan.
were just out and about, and Dorothy
In the
said she needed
neighborhood.
to stop by and have a conversation with you. And Blanche is like fully done up for like a night out. She's got like her little red dress on, her little pillbox hat. Like she's like to the nines because she's anytime they leave the house these days, she is. And so she's just trying to sell it like, hey, we were just out and about. Dorothy said she needed to talk to you. You should invite us in now. And she's gonna try to like get him to invite them in.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
I think Rose
these
would just
are not
blurt
the.
out. Oh, sorry. I think like when Blanche is doing that, like Rose would just blurt out. She'd be like, "Is it because you have another woman in here?
Oh, that's too perfect.
Is that why you don't want us to come in? You're trying not to
No.
hurt Dorothy's feelings?"
As if Stan would try not to hurt Dorothy's feelings.
Yeah.
No, of course not. Yeah, come in. I guess this is fine. Now that you put him on the spot and made him feel uncomfortable in the most perfect
Absolutely.
fashion.
She was like, he can't just deny it, he has to prove it now.
Right.
She
Yeah, so
walks
he
in.
invites
See,
you all
Stan,
in.
I
like,
told you.
"Hmm."
We were just in the neighborhood.
Yeah, all four of you.
Well, Ma's down in the car, just keeping the engine warm for us.
Yeah, no, I can see her. He's like looking over your shoulder.
Sophia doesn't even wave or anything. Just
Well,
stares
I mean,
us
Sophia was
down.
thinking about waving the middle finger at him, but she decided to refrain.
yeah, she's just mean mugging from the car.
Uh-huh.
Love it.
While Dorothy distracts and talks to Stan, I'm gonna see if this is very much one of those moments where you see like the two people on screen talking, and then cuts to Blanche every once in a while, just kind of like walking around, looking to see if she can poke through, see anything, running her hand down like the bookshelf and seeing if there's anything on the desk, just seeing what she can find subtly as Stan is talking to about this christening with Dorothy.
Yeah, give me a wits and investigation roll, please.
Investigation. Uh-oh. Let's see.
I mean,
Wit.
it's not the worst roll that you could have.
Not so bad. It's a whole 3 dice total. Let's see. I got 3 successes.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, so kind of looking around, you can see on his desk the campaign papers that you imagine he was probably looking at just before you all knocked. And yeah, there's a lot of uh, stuff that it looks like, number one, a lot of it's been redacted. So it's like they don't even trust him with all of the information. But from what you can gather, they're looking at like trying to really press a lot of legal stuff through the system as fast as possible to deregulate. That way they can, further their business interests, that they can get away with more of their shady shit without oversight. Uh, you also see some things you may not know because a lot of times the supernatural entities in World of Darkness don't really know a ton about each other. Um, but you see several mentions of the word Geru. You also see a few different mentions of the word Makole. And just over the table.
Yuri the player is so excited
Yeah.
because she recognizes everything.
Yeah, over the table, for those of you who don't know, Geru is what werewolves are called in World of Darkness, and Makole are typically lizard or like alligator shifters.
Oh, got it.
That's
Lizard
pretty
people in
cool.
charge of the government. That makes sense.
I didn't think of it that way, but now that you say that.
But it fits. It's so good.
But I mean, all of the shifters and Kindred are like mortal enemies. They do not get along. So what you can gather from this is that Pentex is essentially trying to hunt them down and capture them for something. They don't really specify why.
Okay. I'll make note of that, and as soon as we're either away from Stan or I can quietly share that information with the other girls, I will do so. But
Yeah.
for now, I'm just continuing to just continue to look around. I'll rub my hand on a shelf and see that it's so dusty and tisk a little bit.
Yeah. Rose will look at Stan and be like, "Oh wow, you look a lot younger. Was honestly such a shame. You know how what they say. The older you get, the better you get. Well, unless you're a banana, but for the most part."
Yeah, I've been working out quite a bit. That's probably what it is.
You've been. Oh, I'm not even in the. Never mind.
See, that's what you get for
So the
waiting in the car.
workout made your
I know.
made your hair grow back. Must
Oh
be
yeah,
quite a workout.
it's the supplements. He's
Dan,
been
I've
taking
never
the
seen you eat a supplement in your life.
Well, there's a lot of things you've never seen, Dorothy.
Yeah, I've never seen the Eiffel Tower. You're right. I've never seen you do a sit up. You're right. Never seen you eat a Brussels sprout. Sure.
And you never will.
Because it's never happened.
Anyway, you said you're in the neighborhood. Was there anything else you needed?
She's waiting for Dorothy to say something, or else she's gonna do something very stupid.
Do it.
I think you have to, because I
It's in
can't figure out
character.
what stupid thing to do instead. I mean, yeah.
What were
Dorothy's
you
gonna
also
punch him
going
if
to
you
do?
don't.
Something? Oh my God! Yes.
I mean, I
I
think
think
Dorothy
that would
wants to
be
see what he's
beautiful.
made of.
Sure, and
I
in
think Dorothy
Dorothy's
wants
mind,
to.
only one way to find out: just punch him in the face.
It sucks. It sucks. She doesn't want to do it, but she's gonna do it
Okay.
because he's lying to her face, and she wants to call him on it.
Before Dorothy just cocks Stan in the head, Blanche knocks
Because
all the
Blanche
papers
can
off the
tell.
desk and says, "Oh dear Stanley, oh, clumsy, clumsy me. Could you come over and pick these papers up for me? I'm so sorry. Just so clumsy." And then as he
Uh,
comes over and
And
bends
she,
over, she's like, "No."
yeah. Dorothy, go ahead and give me a strength plus brawl roll.
wait, those are christening gifts. Sorry, wrong tab. Yeah, that's 0 successes.
Amazing. Uh, yeah, it, some of it is because he does respond
Very
unnaturally
quickly.
quickly. Yeah. Not quite as fast as a kindred would, but faster than any human should be able to. And I think that he knows that something's been off, because I don't think that the four of you are necessarily using the blush of life every single time you see him. So you're going to look a little bit paler than usual. Well, actually, Blanche probably does because it's Blanche, but uh, still, especially Dorothy, because you've maybe seen him a little bit more and more intimately and probably more often than the others. I think he would know, and like you would probably have to use the blush of life because otherwise you would feel cold to the touch. Uh, but there are probably times where like he's reached out and felt that you feel colder than normal, like cold enough that you should be dead. Uh, and so as you throw this punch, and he responds faster than a human should be able to, he's just like, "I knew it. You're one of them,
Oh,
aren't you?"
oh, no, there it is. There it is. You all saw that. He moved super quickly, right? Yeah, you're old. You shouldn't be able to do that. Now you sit down and you tell us what is going on.
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on, but ever since I accepted this offer, started running for governor, I've just been feeling really good. I don't know how to explain it.
Damn it, Stanley, where are the supplements? What have you been taking?
I don't keep it here. They just give it to me whenever I go in to see them.
Are you just eating things strangers give you? Didn't your mother teach you any better? To
Well, they're not
accept food from
strangers.
strangers.
They're not strangers, Rose. They're financing my campaign. I don't want to be rude.
Oh, Stanley.
You say no to my pies all the time, and you can't say no to them. Well, that's
Well,
something.
you're not paying for my campaign, though.
Hmm. Well, that's true, which means I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it means something.
So close and yet so far.
Hey, she's had
Now,
a couple
Stan,
good
you're
thoughts. We can't let that continue on for
Right.
too long.
yeah, exactly. You were solving the entire mystery for us. Now, Stan, you're coming with us.
No, I don't think so, Dorothy. Sophia, I think you would probably be getting a little bit impatient at this point because it's taking longer than you think it should. And, you know,
You probably think we're in
it's getting
trouble
late.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. I am really ready to get out of here. So I want to know what's taking so long with this Yetz over here. Dorothy, you were supposed to do one thing. You couldn't flirt with the man. The first time in your life I asked you to flirt with this man and you don't do it.
Ma, it's just not that easy.
This
Well,
is the
Blanche
first time
doesn't have a problem with it.
between the two of you. This is the best this man has looked in how long? And neither one of you has used the gifts that you actually have.
Well, Sophia, a slightly younger Stan is still Stan. Blanche Devereaux has standards. Sorry, Dorothy.
Standards. I've seen the men coming in and out of that room. You don't have standards.
I never said they were high standards.
Well, I guess that's true.
They're just high enough to let Stan not in. That's it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The bar is just above Stan.
Yeah, essentially.
Meanwhile,
And Dorothy, we
meanwhile,
already
you're
know that.
watching like what's left of Dorothy's self-esteem absolutely fucking get nailed into the ground.
Oh, it's going to get
Nails in
even
the
better
coffin.
when I remind you that Dorothy, Stanley's the best you've ever done. So what's your excuse?
I
Oh
did
my
marry her
God.
uncle once.
Oh my gosh. Well,
So,
Sophia, yeah, she's going to just yell at Sophia and basically just tell her like there's he there's something wrong with him and he doesn't want to tell us what it is and he's been eating things from strangers.
yeah, and Sophia, at this point, like I had mentioned to the others, he does look a lot younger, more fit, and you see that he has like a grace to him that you've probably never seen in Stan.
That's why it's time for him to come with us now. So we need to I mean I've definitely got some manipulation. What is it? Which one? Maybe well, daunt won't work. It's really about repelling. I was gonna say try to get him out of his house.
I would let you use it as like an
Like an
intimidation factor.
intimidation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
yeah, I would definitely allow that.
Okay.
Oh, we can tie him up or something. Blanche, I'm sure you're good at that.
Uh, Blanche says, "Oh, honey, I was saving those handcuffs for next time I saw Biff. I left them in my other clutch. I only have the feather duster tonight."
Oh my God. love it.
She pulls out a matching red feather duster that has it's the handle has been like bedazzled with rhinestones.
Of
very
course, it's
classy.
bedazzled. Very
So-
Stan,
good.
honey, you need to come with us, Stanley. This has gone on too long. The people backing your campaign are shady folk, and while I know that you are no stranger to a little bit of shady dealings now and then, I think you are getting in over your head, and you need to come home with us, and we can work this out, and we will figure out next steps. And if we need to, we'll support your campaign. And then she kind of was like, wait, what did I just say? What did I just promise? And then she's just rolling with like, we will do what we need to do.
Yeah, he just kind of side eyes you, Blanche, really not believing that for a second. It doesn't seem like he's going to come without either force or supernatural abilities of some sort at this point.
I'm gonna do both of those now.
Yeah.
Okay. Two things. Step one. I have to. You're gonna have to tell me how to do this stuff and
Mhm.
if I'm doing them right. But I have to do a rouse check to use vicissitude.
Vicissitude, yeah.
And thank you, vicissitude. I want to first use vicissitude to do redistribution.
Okay.
In add a single dot to any of the user's physical attributes. This cannot cause any attribute to exceed 5 dots. These changes are visible but not masquerade threatening. Note that the player characters need to keep track of their original values, as these are still used to calculate experience cost for attributes. So I'm obviously going to just add 1 to strength.
Yeah. What are you taking
Cool.
it from?
Let's take it off of manipulation.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, it's a one shot, so like it could still come
Yeah.
into play, but we should be wrapping before too long. So yeah, go ahead and give yourself a 4th dot in strength. And then you're gonna try and subdue him physically.
How do I do I have to how do I do that? Yep.
So that would be strength, and I would say probably I'll let you do athletics here because you're not trying to like punch him necessarily. You're trying to wrestle.
Do I have to go through character builder to change my physical attributes?
Yeah, but you
I
should
think
be able to
so.
just add a
It'll
die.
take 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I can just add a die?
Yeah, you should be able to just add a die on the roll.
Great.
Yeah, so on the bottom left corner where you roll,
Yep.
the pictures of
Yep.
the dice are right next to where it says roll. So if you tap it, it'll just add it to it.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, that way you don't have to change
Pictures of
everything.
the dice. And is that the regular die? Fantastic. I see it now.
Yep.
You guys are so smart.
And you just click however many you need.
Yeah, I did, and it's great. I'm glad I did that because I got 0 successes again.
Oh no.
No, wait.
Poor Dorothy.
No, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. I got 5 that time.
Okay.
I read the last one. I got all 5.
A big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. That was exactly what I wanted to have happen. So Dorothy undergoes a physical change. Like she's doing like Demon Slayer Nezuko shit. Like 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 her thighs and her like biceps like Hulk out, right? Like she goes like fully muscular.
Oh my god, I love because it was set in the 80s, so like wearing kind of the like almost power suit and just like the thighs rip through the legs.
Absolutely. Well, and like her suits, but her suits are like very like long and flowing. So like there's lots of room for her to like Hulk into it. So what
Yeah.
you're really seeing is like she's got that deep V. So what you see mostly is like her chest explode into that like Lou Ferrigno into that
Right.
Lou Ferrigno chest. And so she's gonna like slip behind him and like grab him in that kind of like bear hug, and then
Mhm.
just turn it into an absolute suplex
Oh
Amazing.
yeah.
and put Stan on
Oh
the
yeah.
ground.
Yeah. I mean, I think if your intention is to subdue him, like you could do that and probably even knock him out with your
Nice.
5 successes.
Hell yeah.
Like I imagine it's
This is a fun game.
Dorothy. uh, so the episode I was watching earlier, it's funny because playing this vampire game. Uh, it's only the second episode, but it's the first time that we see Stan in the show, and she talks about like wanting to taste his blood, and then like runs around with a knife, like threatening to kill Stan. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This is 100%
Just
character.
worked out.
Yeah, and I feel like this is just Dorothy's chance to finally physically take this out on him after 40 something years.
I love that episode too because it's all around, I think, their daughter getting married, and
Yeah,
she's like,
to
"You
the
just need to
doctor.
be nice to Dad," and I'm like, "He deserves it.
Yeah,
Be nice
yeah,
to
He was
him. Oh, don't
horrible
fight
the
with him.
whole
Don't say
time.
mean things to him." But
yeah.
okay,
And then they're all upset because the doctor that her daughter is marrying is a podiatrist and not like a real doctor.
I just watched that episode too.
It's a good one.
Blanche sees the unconscious Stanley down on the ground now and just says, "Oh, he looks so peaceful this way."
A big improvement, really.
So what is the plan
Anytime
now that you
Stanley's
Up
not
and
talking,
Blanche.
just stand?
I was gonna say anytime Stanley's not talking, it's a big improvement.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have an unconscious Stan on the floor.
Yep.
Are we
I'll go
going?
handle the doorman, and Blanche is gonna go down and distract the doorman.
Blanche, when you go handle the doorman, make sure you handle him with words and not with those hands.
She slowly puts her feather duster back away in her purse. But
Wait,
she's
are
gonna
we
go
gonna
down
like
into
drag him out,
oh
carry
yeah.
him? Are we gonna what is that weekend at
Wait,
Bernie's
Dorothy,
him?
Dorothy picks the ottoman off the floor, kicks it out of the way, rolls him up in a rug, and with
Okay.
a force strength, throws him over her shoulder and
yes.
like prepares to fireman carry him out of here.
Amazing. So
I
what
love
is the
it.
plan now that you have this unconscious Stan?
Um,
Take him home, chaining him up.
Yeah, he's got to
chain him up and
he's got to feed off of us so that he will be our pet and he will do our bidding.
that,
Um,
and eventually after he stops feeding on the other, that bond or that kind of influence will start waning over time.
mhm.
So even if you didn't want to have him around forever, which is a terrible notion, all things considered, just keeping him away and isolated long enough will have
Yeah.
that effect.
Well, Dorothy won't let me get rid of the Yuts because of her kids, but I mean, they're old enough. I think they'll be okay without their father.
He's
He's
also
always
old enough.
been a ghoul, Ma.
Now
And
he's a
he's never
ghoul.
going to change, so what's the point of keeping him around? But
We may as well make his state a formal one.
So in order to wrap this up, now that we have him subdued, what is our epilogue? How is our party going to resolve this? Because I will tell you now, Pentex cannot be taken down easily. That's not a one-shot kind of accomplishment. Uh, in fact, that's probably not even a campaign accomplishment. That's just an ever-present thing in World of Darkness.
Yeah.
I just love this, like, cutting to that, like, very breezy opening song that they play at the beginning of every scene when you're coming back for a commercial break. Shows the outside of the house, nighttime, of course, but outside of
Right.
the house. And then it cuts to, like, the garage and Stanley just chained up on the wall of the garage.
Like you do.
Yeah.
I like
Sophia
to
whipping
think
him.
that he's I like
The
to
feather
think that
duster.
he's allergic to cats. But the cats are really fond of uh kind of nuzzling around.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just always like snotty and sneezing.
I think
Yeah.
he's our
And
new
then and
houseboy.
then so then epilogue, right? We're talking about epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
There's like it's nighttime still, right? The the garage door opens, automatic opener. There's like mist to the driveway. In the fog, you see the silhouette of Dorothy. She's she's got a paddle that she's smacking in her hand. She enters and hits the garage door opener behind her and closes it. And it closes on him screaming in the garage.
The paddle just has the word Chrissy carved into it.
Yep, yep. Chrissy's carved in the sand. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. The door closes.
I
Amazing.
love that.
Yeah, that is
That
a
is so
fantastic
good.
place to wrap. So
Outstanding.
real quick, I would love to have my players go around and just remind everyone who they are, where we can find them. Uh, Luke, you went last several times. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, Luke with Grey Castle Press. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Grey Castle Press, or you can go to greycastlepress.com.
Fantastic. Amber.
Yeah, Amber, ampersand, Amber Amp. You can find me anywhere on Blue Sky or Instagram. Uh, thanks so much.
Yeah. Yuri.
So again, my name is Yuri. That is Yuri, pronouns she, they. You guys can go ahead and find me at Yuri and the Beast absolutely everywhere. October is my favorite month, so I'm doing a lot, a lot of really cool, spooky stuff. I'm up to, I think, 11 live shows in 2 weeks, and it's just
Amazing.
gonna keep going. So I'm gonna be over at Tabletop Tail Spinners for another Vampire the Masquerade one shot. I'm gonna be playing Sagas with the maker of Sagas, Dennis ROKSDM. Gonna be over at Girls Run These Worlds at Sword and Key for a call of Cat Thulu, which I'm personally very excited about. If you couldn't tell through this episode, I really like cats. Just a whole bunch of other stuff. So definitely over on Threads, I'm always kind of blabbing about my inside thoughts that shouldn't be on the outside, and that's how you find out everywhere I am and what I'm doing.
I feel that. I feel that. And last but not least, Jack.
Hello. So I'm under Jacktivism 101 on just about all socials. But on Twitch, I actually have a channel called Professor of Pop Culture. And I just started streaming recently, so please follow me there if you'd like. Aside from that, I also just launched a podcast called Hard Knocks, which is currently on YouTube, though it's going to be on Spotify and all the things soon enough. So yeah, I too am kind of everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can't find me just looking for me, look for Trans Empowerment Project. I will be right behind that title somewhere. I guarantee it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And you can find links for everyone in the chat, and they will be in the description whenever this comes out on YouTube and all the podcast places. And yeah, this has been a blast. Thank you all for coming and playing. Make sure to go get registered to vote if you have not already. If you haven't, what are you waiting on? Just do it. It takes like 2 seconds. Uh, Also, links are in the chat and in the description. So make sure you do that before November. Actually, before like real soon because the deadline's coming up.
Yeah, just
Um,
go do it now. Super easy. Just go do it.
exactly, exactly.
it takes less than 2 minutes to register to vote. And I'm going to just go ahead and throw this out there because a lot of people are using the I don't really like either of the two presidential candidates argument to avoid voting. But here's the thing, there's literally thousands of seats up for grabs across this country. there are so many more than two candidates running for office.
Mhm.
I mean, hell, there's five people running for president alone. So, I mean, there's that part. But literally thousands of seats up for grabs, and so many elections often are decided by fewer than even 5 votes. So, you really could be the deciding vote between progress and more of the same. So, yeah, please make sure you're registering to vote and getting your friends out there too.
Absolutely. And with that, we will see you all next time.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.